Second day of 48-hour bandh continues. Normal life paralyzed in valley districts. Home Department, Government of Manipur appeals to police for peace and cooperations. And President of 𝐋𝐢𝐯𝐶 speaks at 54th sessions of UN Human Rights Council. Hello and welcome to Northeast Window. This is CILINA 𝐶𝐤𝐯 giving you the latest news updates at this hour. Now the news in detail. The 48-hour statewide bandh demanding unconditional release of 5 village volunteers arrested by Manipur police continues to affect normal life in valley districts of Manipur on the second day today. Roads remain blocked at different places except for some vehicles of emergency services. Passengers and private vehicles were not seen plying on roads. Markets, shops and business establishments were closed. Even lesser numbers of pharmacies were operational. School and colleges remain closed. Essential service providers, including media persons, reportedly faced problems as the branch supporters hindered their activities. Some bandh supporters even stopped them from trying to pass the road, shouting, "Do you take this as some kind of joke?" There have been even complaints that medical staffs were not allowed passage by the protesters. It may be recalled, all Langtabal Kendra Clubs Coordinating Committee, all Langtabal Kendra Mayapaibi Coordinating Committee, all Kongburot United Clubs organizations, 𝐂𝐲𝐿 United Club, Sagolbam 𝐂𝐲𝐿 and Ward number 23 Apunba Club Mayapaibi, Kurai jointly imposed the statewide bandh from Tuesday midnight, demanding the release of 5 village volunteers. 𝐶𝐢𝐯𝐶𝐞 Mayapaibi Janura Lupt and Harol Yaifa Taurang Club also blocked road at Khongman Makha 𝐶𝐢𝐯𝐶𝐞 Lamlong, endorsing the bandh. Speaking to the media, Mayapaibi Secretary Ningombam Bimola demanded that the 5 village volunteers who left behind their families to protect the motherland must be released unconditionally. Mayapaibi of 𝐶𝐢𝐯𝐶𝐞 will support any movement if the village volunteers are not released, she said.
Mama laibaki damaktanena mathwai thaba kidana mayunggi nupi engang laiba mama mapa loi thadomaga ima laibaki damakta khun ngakpa lang ngakpa chapani machida akhoi machen akhoi maitai macha mangabu onjalaga nakhoi tawridu thabaktu lali haiduna thingnibase Mayapaibi ama oina mama ama oina khoi yajaningde hairiba angang hingje tekta kaidana condition amata yaudana thadokpirau natragadi Manipurda laiba ima Mayapaibi singi ali khongjang jangsin basida akhoi gichu mama ama oina saruk yajari.
Additional Secretary of Home Maharambam Pradip has conveyed that 5 persons were arrested on September 16th after the government received complaint that they were intimidating people by impersonating police wearing uniforms of special commandos. Addressing media persons at a press meet held at Manipur Police Headquarters yesterday, Pradip said, "There have been 25 complaints of monetary demands and threats during the past few days. The police have taken serious notes of these complaints and are committed to ensure the safety of the public. The 5 persons were arrested as part of the measures to ensure safety, lest the public should lose faith in the police," he said.
In the context of the present crisis, the problem in Manipur, the government of Manipur, particularly the state police, is making all-out effort to restore normalcy. However, we are having information of armed miscreants masquerading as CDO and roaming around in the streets. And in this context, the state police has taken up multiple steps to curb the menace. Multiple and the various search operations, joint search operations, setting up of multiple nakas in various strategic routes and the Manipur police is firmly committed to curbing this menace. And in one of the nakas set up in the Kongba area on the 16th of this month, we have apprehended 5 armed miscreants clad in supposedly CDO uniform or camouflage uniform and with arms. In this context, multiple steps to curb it, and also take this advantage to appeal to the public to cooperate and support the effort made by Manipur police. And at the same time, we also appeal the public not to believe in information spread out through the social media without proper authentication.
As per a police report, FIR number 1234 close 9/2023 has been lodged with Porompat police stations against the 5 persons. Cases under different sections of IPC have been taken up against them. The 5 arrested persons have been identified as Moirangthem Anand, age 44, of 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒, 𝐂𝐎𝐶𝐂. Anand is said to be a trend cadre of PLA and had been arrested 6 times between the year 1997 and 2009. He later joined KCP and was jailed under NSA in 2010. 𝐿𝐻𝐾𝐿𝐒 alias 𝐶𝐄𝐲, age 39, of Kongba Nongthongbam Lekai. 𝐶𝐲 currently runs a rehabilitation center at Thaubal, Kangabok, Awang Lekai. The remaining 3 persons are Laukrakpam Michael Mangangcha, age 30, of Khurai Ahongay, Konthozam Ramojit Meitei, age 28, of Sagolban Sayang, and Kaisam Johnson, age 35, of Singjamay Sorokhaibam Lekai. An Insas rifle, 4 magazines, 78 live rounds, 1 SLR, 3 magazines with 50 live rounds, 2.303 rifles with magazine, and 5 rounds each, and a bolero was seized from them, the police report said. Khuraizam Athoba, who is not only Vice President of IPSA but also spokesperson of COCOMI, has spoken about Manipur in the 54th UN Human Rights Council sessions on 18th of this month held at Geneva. Talking about northeastern region of India in this session, Athoba said there is a challenge since there are differences in cultures and traditions of India's northeast and western Southeast Asia. There is lack of developments and good roads. Athoba added that the Golden Triangle of Indo-Myanmar border had aided to the apprehension. Illegal drug trafficking, deforestation, and poppy plantations have disturbed normal life of the people. Athoba called for the need to investigate and find out the real cause of the current violence to restore peace and normalcy in the state at the earliest. Speaking at a side event organized by a paid US NGO, the moderator interrupted Athoba, trying to end his speech. There was a short argument between the two, and later the moderator switched off Athoba's mic. On the other hand, the moderator did not interrupt while a lady panelist representing 𝐶𝐤𝐃 communists spoke about the current violence in Manipur, and she was allowed to speak for more than 10 minutes. Khuraizam Athoba will speak in the upcoming sessions too.
This is a platform of United Nations. I think everyone has a right to know the real facts and the truth that we need to address what's happening in Manipur. And I've been listening to all the panel members who have been narrating the stories. I will come out with facts and figures and digitally proved records and data which nobody can't manipulate in any ways. The Hindu majority issues, we as a Meitei in Manipur is not a majority. For the rest of India, it's a different case. When it comes to northeastern states of India, Meitei is not a majority anymore. We represent hardly around 8.5 lakhs population. And the Christians in Manipur is around 12 lakhs. They comprise of around more than 53-54%.
Sorry,
and Meitei
I don't
is
want
only
to interrupt you, but if you could just be as short as possible. We should have 3 minutes for the room.
No,
so
but
if you could
we need to clarify the facts, because if
as
you are
fast as
narrating in the wrong context, we need to check it out. Or shall we go on with the wrong facts? We continue this debate and discussion. What's your intention then? We need to check it out. Number one, the religious card is never an issue in the Manipur violence, because Meitei never targeted Christians. Meitei also has a Christian population of around, which is 45% of what the Kuki populations are, Meitei Christians. And they missed to inform that Meitei churches are being completely vandalized and razed in the Kuki-dominated areas in Churachandpur, right on the first day before the target began in Imphal. Let the audience know.
Yes.
Why are we
Because
completely
we need to have
neglecting
the
the issue of narco-terrorism?
We need to have the
The UNODC has already reported Churachandpur has become a hub of new golden triangle. Poppy cultivations has
we
already...
need to have the concluding remarks from the panel and conclude.
Yeah, before that we need to know the facts. That's why I'm trying to intervene.
Thank you, and we would welcome this. It's just that
It's completely one-sided discussion, so I don't want it. It should be neutral.
we are not a one-sided discussion.
Then you should have the patience to listen to me.
We're presented thoroughly, and there's a lot that we can provide after this event.
Almost 19
I
Meitei
would
villages completely 100% evicted, destroyed.
I've been following personally as the World Evangelical Alliance very closely what is happening in India and Manipur and elsewhere. I'm very grateful for what you shared with us and what you provided. What our hope is that India would grow into a more democratic, inclusive society and community where the government is supportive and protective of all the religious minorities and all the ethnic minorities and everyone in India. And yet again, I want to appreciate the panel for being here, for sharing, and for all the members of our coalition representing various communities, religious and ethnic communities, for being part of this event. And again, once again, thank you for Ms. Al-Salim, and thank you also for Mr. Turkel, who were present with us and shared with us on the situation in India.
Film fraternity of Manipur and different sections of society have expressed dissatisfactions over Kangleipak Kanbat Loop, KKL's ban of popular Manipuri film actor Soma Laishram from acting and social functions for 3 years. The Loop alleged her of taking part as a showstopper in a beauty pageant in New Delhi on Saturday despite a general appeal it made to the people and personal advice to her to desist from partaking in such programs when Manipur is still burning for the last 4 months. According to news report by Wari Shinbun Network, Film Forum Manipur FFM has expressed dissatisfactions over the decisions by KKL. FFM said it will work towards bringing us solutions. It may be mentioned that Soma, who has acted in over 150 Manipuri films and bagged numerous awards, clarified that certain misjudgments on her participations at the Delhi event were there. On 16 September, Soma participated as a showstopper in a concluding program of the Northeast Students' Festivals held at Talkatora Stadium, New Delhi, that celebrated the cultural heritage of the Northeast, where she passionately spoke on the unprecedented current turmoil in Manipur and used the platform to appeal for support from all the peace and normalcy in Manipur. As a professional actor and a social influencer, it is my responsibility to communicate and speak up about the crisis in Manipur, and I choose this platform, the actor told Wari Shinbun. Contrary to KKL's statement that Soma chose to ignore the advice, FFM and Cine Actors Guild Manipur CAGM, to which she belongs, the head of the film bodies, told the Wari Shinbun that when they individually approached to discourage Soma from participating in the fashion parade, considering the unprecedented human crisis confronting Manipur, it was too late to intervene, as it was on the day of the show. FFM chairman Laimagum Surjakanta Sharma admitted that he did speak to Soma on the issue. However, he asserted that he didn't ask her to abstain from the program after the actor informed how she had planned to use the prestigious platform to campaign for peace in Manipur as the showstopper.
As we celebrate the cultural heritage of Northeast, unfortunately, I can only partake this celebration in spirit. As everyone must be aware, my motherland, my homeland, Manipur, is still burning for the past 4 months. People being shot, people dying, house being burned down, internet banned for 4 months, national media turning a blind eye on us, and also a mother are still sleeping on the street to protect our land. I'm off words now, describing the horror facing in Manipur for the past 4 months. Today, I would like to take the opportunity to raise my voice to all my brothers and sisters of Northeast and also to all my fellow Indians to speak up against the violence happening in Manipur for the past 4 months. Wrapping of Meitei women on 3rd May. Till now, nobody speaks about it. When an unfortunate incident of 2 women parading naked, we all condemn the situation, we all condemn the incident. Our Maira Paibis condemn the incident and voice of the victim to be arrested. We even demolish their houses and they were arrested immediately. But why this indifferent with us? Why this indifferent treatment with our Meitei? Where is the justice of our Meitei women? Why everyone is so silent? Akoy Meitei nupigi di ijat laitra ba? Akoy Meitei nupigi justice? Where is it? This is the first question I would like to ask everyone. And another thing, a young girl of 16 years old, Luang Bi, was missing since 6 July. But nobody speaks about it. Again, I pray for her safe return and her whereabouts should be found out. Now the government is blaming our Maira Paibis for not being able to control the situation. Instead of accepting their failure of control the conflict, they blame our Maira Paibis.
I was shocked and disheartened when I first got the news. Having been an outspoken person from the very start of the violence, I have always been a die-hard supporter of my motherland, Manipur. When I was called to represent Manipur in the Northeast Festival, organized by my home India as a showstopper, I only went in the intention of supporting my state, spreading awareness to the thousands of people present there. That was my only goal.
Member of Palel Jila Parishad Mohammad Najimuddin has clarified that the news during rounds across Manipur stating that there were reports of bloodshed while people opened fire at Arambai Tengol when they were demanded money around 2 p.m. yesterday at Sora Maninglekai as false. There has never been monetary demands by Arambai Tengol at Sora till date, said Mohammad Najimuddin. During a press conference at Sora Maninglekai yesterday, Najimuddin further maintained that there was an unfortunate incident relating to drug trafficking at Sora Maninglekai and it has no relation whatsoever with Arambai Tengol. The unfortunate incident was caused due to a misunderstanding. Najimuddin added that the leaders of Sora village and members of club organizations have resolved to work together to prevent such incidents from occurring in the future. The press conference was also attended by Pradhans of Sora and Palel Gram Panchayats, Mohammad Makimuddin and Mohammad Badur Rahman. Thoibi, wife of Anwar, a resident of Sora Maninglekai who was allegedly involved in the case, claimed that a few unknown persons brought a drug abuser at her show and asked her to produce the drugs from her show. There was a heated argument when she told them that she doesn't sell drugs. The unfortunate incident occurred when nearby persons rushed to her show. Thoibi appealed to all to not let such incidents occur in the future.
Drugsaba mafaraga ai dukanda buzalakpani makoina ai di drug yonbani drug puthohu haina haibada ai di drug yonde ai di yonbanate noina ai gonda putho haibasi ai di khangde haibadagi khara ukhatnaki miyoi asiga saugatnarakpadagi laikai mayamga tukhaningdaba thagdok ama thoki
Wirin Balam Thai Soragi Manunda Thokiba Thadosida Kanagumana Arambai Ninsidanaba Aduga Tongan propaganda Rimerkea Tokuna Tangi Ukanaba Toki Adugo Hoziki Equiba Puna Taminare Haiba Thadosida Wigi Arambai Timna Isilino Sina Soragi Riada Karigumba Makal Amatagi Selgi Dimantova Adragana Karigumba Amagi Ayanapan Piki Basi Mamam the Suyokiti Suyokiti Masida Akwegi Ramda Masdaleriba Praza section Punamakna Haiba Akwegi Sel Haibala Pani Natragana Dutola Pani Haibasi Madu to Tele Aranbani Malda Miamna Lana Lobiganu Amadi Taza Biganu Lairiba Soragi local leaders sing Amadi Lairiba Wegi Tongan Club Organization sing Kaminaraga Punamak Bahap Taminaraba Matunda Haiba Famasida Kaisuleramde Aduga Hataba Natragana Tohaningdaba Natragana Misimina Yauba Togo Karima Toki de Habo Famasi Akwe Soragi local leaders sing Parza section Punamagna, Niamda, Masigi Shandok Sabawarola Tamderi.
Directorate of Health Services, State Blood Shell, National Health Mission Manipur, SHS, SBTC Manipur organized a blood donation camp for top officials of the government at Conference Hall of All Secretariat. The camp, organized under the Ayushman Bhava program, was attended by Manipur's Chief Secretary Vinit Joshi, Additional Chief Secretary, IAS and other staff. Speaking on the occasion, Commissioner of Directorate of Health Services, P.K. Jha, said the blood donation camp is held under the Seva Pakwara Ragdhan Mahadhan to be held for a fortnight from September 17th to October 2nd. There are two main aims of the camp. The first being blood donated by officials to be made available on an urgent basis to the needy, and the second to spread awareness to the public that donating blood does not harm people. 𝐶𝐾 further said preparations are on to organize such blood donations camps at Janims and other facilities. He appealed the public to take part in these programs.
It is going to serve two purposes. One, obviously, we will be collecting the blood units, which is very urgently required in various health facilities. The second objective is to increase awareness among the people that it's perfectly safe and very healthy, and it is our contribution to the society by donating blood. We are organizing it under the recently launched Ayushman Bhava program. So you know, from 17th September till 2nd of October, we are having Seva Pakhwara. So this fortnight, various programs are to be organized. So we have started the blood donation camp today from the Secretariat. We'll also be doing it at other facilities, including Janims. Our contribution and your contribution in this field will be really helpful for the state.
In line with the observance of Rashtriya Poshan Mah, Central Bureau of Communications Field Office Chandel in collaborations with ICDS Cell, Chandel District organized a one-day integrated communication outreach program on Poshan Mah at Sinadham village in Chandel District yesterday. The program was organized on the theme Tribal-Focused Nutrition Sensitization, Nutrition-Rich India, Educated India, Empowered India. The awareness program witnessed large participations from women and children of the village and surrounding areas. Stalls exhibiting energy-rich foods and medicinal food, etc. were also displayed during the program. A spot quiz competitions and a public rally to spread awareness on the significance of Poshan Mah was also carried out in the adjoining areas. Situation in the state remained tense with but under control with sporadic incidents of firing and congregations of protesters during the last 24 hours between September 18th and 19th. According to report from Manipur Police Control Room released yesterday, search operations were conducted by security forces in the fringe and vulnerable areas of Bishnupur, Churachandpur and Thoubal districts. 2 arms, 15 ammunitions and 3 explosives were recovered from Thoubal districts during the operation. Congregations of crowd, road blockades, and closure of different establishments were reported at various locations in Imphal West, Imphal East, Bishnupur, Thoubal, Kaching, and Jiribam district. District police and security forces fired tear gas shells to disperse the crowds and remove road blockades at various places, the report said. On the other hand, movement of 473 vehicles along National Highway 37 and 19 vehicles along National Highway 2 carrying essential items were ensured. Strict security measures were taken up in all vulnerable locations and security convoy was provided along sensitive stretches in order to ensure free and safe movement of the vehicles, it said. A total of 136 checkpoints were also installed in different districts of Manipur, both in the hills and the valley, and police detained 1,876 persons in connections with violations in different districts of the state, the report added. Former president of Merapaibi Welfare Association, Kangleipak, Moirangthem Kainahanbi, has passed away. She breathed her last on Monday. Kainahanbi was actively involved in works of Merapaibi Observations and Nupilal Observation Committee. Merapaibi Welfare Association Kangleipak has condoled her demise and said that it's a huge loss for Manipur. National news. The discussions on the Women's Reservation Bill saw a face-off between the Congress and the BJP in the Lok Sabha today. While former Congress chief Sonia Gandhi demanded a reservations for other backward classes and immediate implementations of the bill, BJP MP Nishikant Dubey accused the party for saying new things for political angles and claimed that it has never spoken about an OBC quota in the context of the reservations for money for women legislators. As the first speaker from the oppositions on the bill, Sonia Gandhi said her party supports the legislations but demanded a reservations for other backward classes within the 33% quota for women. She also said that speaking on the bill was an emotional moment for her, as her husband Rajiv Gandhi was the first to introduce a bill on the reservations for women in local bodies. A caste census must also be conducted, and a provision must be met for a reservation for women from the SC, ST and OBC communities. The government should take all the steps needed for this. Delaying this would be doing gross injustice to women, she said. Sikhs for Justice, SFJ, a pro-Khalistan group banned in India in 2019, has threatened Hindus living in Canada and asked them to leave the country for supporting India amid the ongoing diplomatic row over the killing of Khalistani leader 𝐿 In a video making rounds on the internet, SFJ's Guru Patwant Singh Panun is seen calling on Canadian Sikhs to vote for the so-called referendum in Vancouver on October 29. Indo-Hindu live Canada, go to India, said Panun, who has been designated as a terrorist in India. He claimed that pro-Khalistan Sikhs have always been loyal to Canada and they have always sided with Canada. The video surfaced 2 days after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau claimed there was a potential link between India government agents and the killing of Nijar in June. These serious allegations caused tit-for-tat expulsions of senior diplomats of the two countries. In a strongly worded statement, the Ministry of External Affairs (MEA) dismissed his claim as absurd and motivated. Trudeau insisted Canada was not looking to provoke or escalate. Such unsubstantiated allegations seek to shift the focus from Khalistani terrorists and extremists who have been provided shelter in Canada and continue to threaten India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The inactions of the Canadian government on this matter has been a long-standing and continuing concern, the MEA said. The diplomatic tensions between the two countries come in the backdrop of New Delhi's growing concern about the increasing anti-India activity in Canada, including potential political figures, open support for Khalistani leaders. On Wednesday, India's intelligence agencies raised concerns over pro-Khalistani entities, PKE, and growing political support for them in Canada, warning about aggressive and intensified activities against Indians and officials. The agencies said that they can target temples, Indians living in Canada, and Indian entrepreneurs running businesses there. The agencies added that clashes between PKEs and Indians can be reported in the upcoming days. Canadian Ministers Anita Anand of Hindu descent appealed for calm. In a post on X, Anand said South Asians and families who come from India, regardless of religions, will share the sentiment that it was difficult to hear Trudeau's statement on Monday. This is a time to let the legal process continue as it must. Let us all remain calm, unified and empathetic, she said. On the other hand, amid the ongoing diplomatic row with Canada over the killing of a Khalistani terrorist on Canadian soil, External Affairs Minister 𝐶 today met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told the House of Commons on Monday that his government has credible allegations that link Indian government agents to the killing of Khalistani terrorist 𝐿 on Canadian soil in June. Following Trudeau's remarks, India and Canada have expelled a senior diplomat each. Centre has rejected the allegations as absurd and motivated. Nijar was an Indian terrorist and chief of the banned Khalistan Tiger Force (KTF) and was assassinated outside a Gurudwara in Surrey, British Columbia on June 18. He was one of India's most wanted terrorists who carried a cash reward of 10 lakh rupees. A couple and their 2 young children, along with the family's 3 dogs, were found fatally shot in suburban Chicago home. The Romeoville police are investigating it as a quadruple murder. The bodies were found around 8:40 p.m. on Sunday in Romeoville after police officers stopped by their home for a welfare check. The adults, identified as Alberto Rolon, Jorida Bartolome, and their 2 children, 10-year-old Adriel and 7-year-old Diego, along with their 3 dogs, were believed to have been shot between Saturday night and early Sunday. And before we end, let's take a quick look at the headlines once again. Second day of 48-hour bandh continues. Normal life paralyzed in valley districts. Home Department, Government of Manipur appeals to people for peace and cooperations. And President of IPSA, 𝐂𝐏𝐸 speaks at 54th sessions of UN Human Rights Council. That's all we have for now, but for more news updates, keep watching Northeast Window.